Any given Sunday, this is just after the official holiday day. I look slightly more rested than last time, which isn't necessarily always a great thing, and I certainly enjoyed some of the Christmas games, but we're going to pretend that none of that happened. We look at week 16, going to look at what got us to the places that we are, who was in our finals, just in case you don't already know. I know if you're watching this, you already do, but humor me. It'll be better that way. This is the kind of league where you don't really want to take those weeks off, even over the holidays. I cannot say this enough. I'm just saying it so people can say what I didn't know. And I've been saying, if you can watch the videos, I said it every single week. The order of these will determine our choice of order for the draft, which is going to matter in this keeper. I'm just saying. Jake knows he had the wide receiver 2 and the wide receiver 4, if you take a look in his flex. Now, that was kind of it for people who rang the bell. And to be honest with you, Jake has been that team where he really does often need Allen to go off. This is one of the cases where he was overpredicted and won the game. And Allen got dinged up a little bit, so he's definitely going to be looking for this for the consolation final, but that's a conversation for a different day. Made a lot of tough choices. Diggs is the only one that maybe kind of got him a little bit, but not enough. I mean, that really would have been a different inflex, and honestly, he was fine without it. On the flip side to the coin, we see someone who has not been paying attention for a couple weeks, and then as a reward for that gets the running back 1 performance that he's been waiting for all year. Unfortunately for him, that's about as much as he got, and he did also have, RJ Harvey's actually been slow-key going off last couple weeks, never really busting it up, but I'd say better than a 0, just outsider's perspective. Anywho, one's going to the toilet bowl, one's going to the consolation championship, so I'll let you figure out who's who. On my side, I don't know if Joe knows this either, and it burns even more that I couldn't take advantage in, especially when the lineup here, if Pierce would have been higher, it would have looked like, ooh, I totally took advantage. But ooh, I totally didn't. Adams was out, but Stafford was the QB1. He also, if you scroll down, had the tight end 3. Pitts, low-key, has kind of been that fantasy savior. If one of the top teams would have had him coming into the playoffs, he would have been a massive steal. He was the tight end 3 and has been going off pretty much every week to differing levels. Now, on my side, this just is something that happened to me in multiple leagues. You get dinged with the injury bug. Love gets hit. Trayvon Henderson got cleaned as well. Harrison, I knew it was risk with him anyway, but come on, man. I only had a couple players actually make it through, and Burrow not being one of the ones. I think he's probably depressed, I'm not making jokes about it. I think he's just not in a great space. He was the quarterback 5. Pierce was the wide receiver 5, and that's pretty much all I had. And the negative, defense. I did have Houston defense 5, so apparently only high 5s. But this kind of underperformance, if you look all the way down, these are people that you need. I didn't get them. I underperformed. I'm going to the toilet bowl. Joe, you did just fine. You get to go to the consolation championship. Congrats. The season is over for only 2 of our teams because our 5-6s, as far as this one goes, both a bit of a disappointment, but both had teams that probably could have made deeper runs. In this case, though, also probably our tightest matchup as things go through, a 5-point to decide it. And it really did come down to a couple of those epic performances. Trevor Lawrence has been low-key playoff all-star for Will. He was a quarterback 4. Luckily for him, I'd say he also, by the way, had a quarterback 3, so he's pretty quarterback heavy. And then Bijan Robinson, and then the rest was not super great, including a defense that would have been better to leave it blank. He left the running back 2 performance on the bench, so that could have been a win for him there. But if you look at Kevin's side, he had Walker. He could have put him out there too, and things could have been a lot different. So let's not do the math quite yet on that. He had the tight end 2 performance. He also got hit by the injury bug, but I'm just skipping over the obvious. There's something about getting 45 plus points from one player, and then there's something about doing it in the playoffs when it's a day or 2 before everyone else plays. It shouldn't matter, but it matters. Obviously, that was the wide receiver 1. So we got Gibbs finishing over Justin Trevor. So congratulations, Kevin, you're 5th. Will, a drop to 6th. It is going to factor in when we come to next year's draft pick choices. We had 2 upsets in the semifinals. Purdy called his shot correctly. Purdy was the quarterback 2, so congratulations, Paul. But if you look at some of your wide receivers, if you look at down here, your tight end, you started Minshew and he got hurt. Chiefs defense probably shouldn't have won this game, but here we go. Running backs 3, 4, and 5 in order. You do that, you're going to be successful every week. So not only do you go to the finals, but you were the top scorer this week in general. On the flip side to this coin, Michael, I'm sorry, buddy. Now, top two, you got the bye, and both the people coming out of the bye just came out stiff. Goff did just fine, not in the top five. Saints was the number one defense, and Sutton showed up for you. Everybody else, it was just too much of an underperformance. It's not like you completely crapped it. I mean, you obviously had 12 over predicted, but this is the semifinals. You were playing the number one score. We needed more. Speaking of needing more, had he hit as predicted, this would have been the tightest matchup, and he had just over, he'd be there. But this was kind of your bit here, McCracken. You're dancing with who brung you, and I don't blame that for you. And in Kittle's face, he was the tight end one that paid off. In Seahawks, who have been a great defense recently, and Taylor, who was essentially the MVP coming into the playoffs. And I mean, Lamar's kind of been crap all season. They just dumped on you when you didn't need it. Like I said, tight end one was your guy. Everyone else, Now, the crazy part on the flip side here, Jim, you also were bitten with the injury bug. This was not a guarantee. And you didn't have anyone in your starting lineup that hit the top five. You're only top five if we have to scroll all the way down here. You had the defense 2 on your bench. So only cost you 8 points and didn't cost you enough. You were an underdog coming in. You had to seal it. You've essentially been playing in the playoffs for like the last 4 or 5 weeks. You've been in like must-win situations, and you must win yourself all the way to the final. There's nothing better than running a league and making all these videos and then playing in the toilet bowl. Pretty pumped. And the guy I'm playing against isn't even having a starting running back. If I lose, guys, check in with me because I will not be okay. But good luck here. On the flip side, just because I say it a ton doesn't mean I'm ever going to stop. Only 2 teams win their last 2 games. That's the champion and the consolation champion. Our consolation champion does get to decide which draft spot they want next year and doesn't even have to tell us to the very end. I don't know Joe very well, but I know Jake enough to know that he wants to yield that power over the league, so don't be shocked if he's sitting back and enjoying this. Now, he probably didn't enjoy Christmas Day so much. He did underperform, but then so did the other guy, and in fact, injuries got into play. So, as per usual, these ones are going to come down to a performance or an injury. I hope it's a performance. Last week was kind of a bummer. I said it a couple minutes ago, but this was the game that I think we thought might have been the final, our 1 versus 2, but it's our bronze. Still a podium does get you something. We'll see if Lamar can step up for McCracken here. And again, he's going with his guys. Do not blame him. On the flip side, we already have an over and an under. I do think, I'm not want to just repeat myself, one of these running backs or wide receivers is going to go off. Just not sure who, and we hope it's not someone on the bench here. They've already had a lot of people on the go, so I don't think they can make too many changes. Like I said, bronze matters in more than one way. This is one of them. There's something about a final, and then there's also something about a first ever final in the league. You get the top spot. You get to be the person who climbed that mountain first. Now, both kind of look like they tripped falling out of the gate. Gutsy call here starting Josh Johnson. Not going to say it paid out, but on the flip side, CeeDee Lamb's been kind of outplayed by other receivers, and all of a sudden Dallas has like 20 guys who catch the ball. I have CeeDee in another league. Super frustrating. Let's see how it rolls here. We do have some of your studs still left to go, or some of the people that have been getting you here. I'd say the running back edge, as we know, is going to go towards Paul. JSN, I think, is the most talented guy in general, although Chase has something to do with that, just the offense that's not there. Purdy versus Rodgers is a conversation I don't necessarily need to have, but Drake May certainly is the QB1. This could be an interesting one. Good luck in our first final, crew. Stage is set for the end of year 1. I'm not going to keep saying good luck, but I am pretty excited to see how things work out. And because of the Keeper League, like I said, every position is going to matter at some point. I'm wondering if maybe in year 2 people realize that a little bit easier, but doesn't matter. Everyone's got a matchup that matters except for our 5-6, which got to enjoy the holidays and not yell at the television like the rest of us. There's a catch-22 on that one. Anywho, I'm not going to continue to say best of luck. Just hopefully everyone's having a great holiday, and here's hoping for less injuries this week. I'd rather have these ones won by performances and not just who's the healthiest.